Hello and welcome to the show. This is Everything Under the Sun. My name is Ty. Hope all of you have been doing incredible these past couple of weeks. I had my mom visiting, so this past week I didn't do an episode, but I'm back on here, and this episode is going to be kind of short because I have some upper respiratory kind of like cough. I don't know if you can hear that in my voice or not, but I was intending on just having today as being a fully relaxed day, not doing anything at all, and I allowed myself to feel that, and it felt very, very good to allow myself to just really accept not doing anything and really just relax after several weeks of not really having much downtime at all. And it was really nice to like allow myself that. And I just want to say that, in your life, allow yourself to be exactly as you are and be exactly where you are. And in the last episode, I spoke some about just this expansiveness of our being, this truth of just the wholeness that we are. And that's not something that you have to believe. You don't have to believe that by any means. I truly only wish for your happiness in this life and for you to move towards the things that feel good for you. So as we kind of go on this journey, and if that is something that you start to resonate with, that you feel in your heart as being the truth of your being, this expansive being, it can be very difficult as we go on this journey because you find yourself maybe getting sucked into these very real life experiences that we seem to experience, these situations, these emotions, these circumstances that will kind of drag us out of that expansive consciousness and bring us back to this kind of level that we feel very uncomfortable in because it doesn't feel pleasant for us. And this is something I wanted to speak briefly about today. It's really the recognition that as we go on this journey, there are going to be very potent things that show up in our experience that seem to take away from the empowerment that we feel, the expansiveness that we feel, the truth that we feel within our hearts about our beingness and who we are in this world. And it can seem very challenging as we come across these things because we feel as though, again, we're stepping backwards. In the episode about backtracking, I speak more about this, but in truth, you are already that expansive being. You are already full. You are already abundant. You are already loved, always, always, and forever. You're at peace. You are health. You are all of these things that we seem to move towards. You are that which you seek, and you always have been. And even though the eyes may seem to show you something that seems very different, allow it to be exactly as it is. Because a lot of the pain that we feel when these emotions arise, when these thoughts arise, when these circumstances arise, it stays because we linger on them. We add fuel to the flame. We say, why did that have to happen? Why did that person have to say that? Why did that situation have to come out that way? Why am I feeling this feeling? Why did I react in that way? All these things are very condemning judgments, very condemning questions that we're asking ourselves, and they only lead to more condemnation. So even if just a moment ago, you scolded your kids or your coworker or your friend and just like really said some really harsh things to them, and then a second later you notice, you say, wow, I can't believe I just said those things. That wasn't something that I really meant. It was just out of a reaction. And when you think that to yourself, you may start to think, I can't believe I did that. I've been on this journey for so long, and start putting yourself down because of that reaction that you had. And in truth, when we allow these circumstances to be exactly as they are, then you can notice within yourself that, before I probably would have just kept going with that reaction and wouldn't have thought a second thought about that. And now I'm in a situation where I'm recognizing that that was something that just doesn't ring true for me anymore. And in that realization, we have more power to determine our next steps. Maybe you decide to extend an apology to this friend. Maybe you further reiterate within yourself the response that you wish to have as you realize that, maybe I could have responded differently. Maybe you start thinking about just all the ways that you wish to move forward with new responses, with new ways of being, but all the while allowing exactly what happened to be exactly as it is. Because again, we can find ourselves damning and condemning ourselves because of a situation that happened as we're trying to move forward, and it only keeps us in that place of not feeling good. It's when we allow it to be exactly as it is and move forward in the direction that we wish to take that determines our motion forward. Because when we judge and condemn ourselves, we're staying in the same place. We're keeping ourselves stuck in that same place. It's allowing things to be as they are and moving forward with our truth that allows us to be at peace. As I've said before, there's nowhere that you have to go or anything that you have to do to be that which you are, that expansive being, that all-encompassing, all-knowing, all-loving, all-embracing being that you are. There's nothing that you have to do in order to be that. You already are that. And in this journey of life, which is composed of time and space and events and circumstances and series and sequences of events, we may find ourselves in situations that seem like it's not helping that process of really understanding this truth of our being. But something I want you to understand is that the moment that peace leaves us, the moment that pain enters our lives, the moment that fear enters our lives, every single motion forward from that moment is healing that. We can imagine these things like pain and sadness and suffering and anxiety and all these things that seem to plague us as wounds that are being inflicted upon us. And the moment that a wound is inflicted upon the body, you break a bone, you cut yourself, the body immediately starts healing, immediately goes to work to start to heal. And it's not unless you're pressing on that wound or exacerbating it more that causes that healing process to come to a standstill or to pause. When you allow it to be exactly as it is, then you know that the pain that's felt, the itchiness that's felt, the strange tingly feelings that's felt that may be uncomfortable, those feelings are still part of the healing process. So when we feel pain within our own being, within our minds, within our hearts, know that healing has already begun. And look at your life around you. Look at the situations and circumstances that surround yourself in your life and realize that each and every one of those situations and circumstances and people and conversations and thoughts, all of them are going towards this realization of the oneness that we are. And even though it doesn't seem like that, even though it doesn't seem connected in any kind of way, I promise you it is. And the way that we can move through this life more easily, the way that we can allow ourselves to embody that wholeness that we are, is allowing all to be exactly as it is. Because everything is that being that we are. And as we reject these things that we see and feel and notice within our own selves, we are rejecting the being that we are. It's okay to choose differently. It's okay to choose love. It's okay to choose peace. It's okay to choose something different than the experience that's being felt. But when we focus our attention on those experiences, on those things that don't feel pleasant, we're sticking our finger in that wound. We're not allowing that healing process to occur. Healing occurs in that realization when you say, I snapped on my friend just now, and that's not something that feels good for me anymore. That's healing. And even if the next 10 times you interact with that friend, you snap at them again and that same thought process occurs, that is still healing. Allow it to be. Right now, I mentioned in the beginning of this episode that I'm kind of dealing with some kind of chest cold or something like that. And the last time I felt any weight like this was December 2019. And I remember this because it's not something often that happens when my body physically feels uncomfortable and I don't feel like doing anything. It's very rare that happens. And I woke up this morning and it was a lot worse than it was last night. And I realized the discomfort that was felt in the body. And the thoughts that were starting to accompany that, it's like me recognizing this being that we are, this expansiveness, speaking about these things and speaking about healing, all these different things. I know within my heart the truth of our being, but these thoughts came in and they didn't feel pleasant. And in that, I knew that healing was occurring because in the presentation of those unpleasant feelings, I knew that they were still there within me. I know that there's still lingering thoughts and feelings that may not align with that truth that I desire for myself. But if I say, why did I think that? If I judge myself and say, why did I go down that route of thought? Then that's only judging myself more. That's only condemning myself more, and it doesn't feel good. So I realize what feels good is just to allow this to be exactly what it is. Do what I can to heal in the way that feels good. Maybe it's relaxing, not telling myself to do anything. Just allowing myself to be and to heal. That felt really good. And maybe the coughing is still there. Maybe the pain is still there. But within my own self, I'm more at peace more than I was this morning at least. And I realize that in every situation that we find ourselves in, we can do that. The situation itself may not change, but as we come to that resolve within ourselves, as we allow it to be exactly as it is, then peace will come after that. Peace will follow that. And it's something so incredible. And I speak in this podcast about things that I've been going through, things that I've recognized about this journey as it's been experienced through these eyes. And I realize that there are so many things that we all deal with on so many different levels. And it can be very difficult to go through this life journey. It can seem very challenging. It can seem very hopeless. I know that. I know that there are pains that people are feeling in the body, and it's very distracting. It's hard to think about expanded consciousness or anything else when the body is in so much pain or so much discomfort. It's okay. You don't have to think about the expansiveness of your being. You already are that. Be exactly where you are. And if tears need to shed, then let those tears shed. But always come back to your heart and realize, is this the truth of how I want to continue moving forward? After you feel what you want to feel, after you process that feeling and really sit with it, and that question of, do I want to continue moving forward with this feeling, with this emotion, with this thought process? When that feels comfortable to come in, then bring that into your consciousness and ask yourself, is this what I want to continue feeling? And the pain in the body may still be there. The circumstances outside of you may still be exactly as they were before. But I'm telling you right now that as you allow them to be exactly where they are, you are taking your finger out of that cut. You're allowing yourself to heal, and it's going to heal in a very natural way. Sometimes there's going to be discomfort. Sometimes there's going to be pain and tears and sadness. But as long as you keep in your heart the truth of your being, the truth of who you are, then you will always, always find that light at the end of the tunnel. And before you even realize it, you are in that light. You are basking in that light. You are bathing in that light. Before you even know it. Because that is how fast light will obliterate darkness. And again, the circumstances may not change. Not immediately, at least. But how you walk through them will change, and that will be your experience. I'm not telling you to do anything that you don't want to do in your life. I actually encourage you to do exactly what feels good for you to do in your life. The only thing I'm speaking of are things that I've noticed within this journey. And I know that there are people that are dealing with this. I know that there are people that are dealing with very immense pain. Again, people that are on this journey, and it gets confusing. It gets daunting. It seems like it's never ending. And in truth, it never is ending. But it doesn't mean that pain is never ending. It doesn't mean that sadness is never ending. Because those things do pass. The never-endingness is the never-ending joy of the unfoldment of who we are. Doesn't it feel good when you set forth on a project and you complete that project? And the process may have been something that has taken some time, taken some energy, some real mental strain. But through that, you feel a strength within yourself. An accomplishment is felt within that experience because you decided to push through it and allow it to be exactly as it was. Allow the hard times to be the hard times. Allow the laughter to be the laughter. Allow the tears to be exactly where they are and how they are. And that you came out at the end knowing that you could have done it the entire time. The truth that you were able to succeed was there in your heart the entire time. Otherwise, you wouldn't have kept going. Know within your heart, know within yourself that you are already home. You are already loved. You are already that incredible, perfect being that you are. You are that. And you don't have to believe me. But feel in your heart, what does it feel like to allow yourself to be exactly as you are? It feels easier than trying to resist it. It feels easier than trying to deny it and say, no, I don't feel this. I'm an expansive being. You are an expansive being. It doesn't matter what you feel. Allow the feelings to be there. And soon, within your own mind, however that question comes out, it'll be the question of, do I want to continue feeling this? Do I want to continue seeing the world in this way? Do I want to continue feeling hopelessness? And you may not know how to eliminate those things, but just ask yourself, is this something I want to continue feeling? And of course, the answer may be an obvious no. But until you say that no resoundingly within your mind, until you say no to one more story, until you say no to one more disillusion, until you say no to one more fear, and you allow yourself to push through that wall of fear and be exactly as you are in every single moment. Because there is a fear of feeling weak. There is a fear of feeling less than. There is a fear of feeling like you're slacking behind compared to other people. But again, these are all just comparisons. These are all just judgments that we're casting upon ourselves. Breaking through that wall of fear may be just allowing yourself to cry. Breaking through that wall of fear may be just allowing yourself to not do anything, to let go of those obligations that seem so demanding in your life. These are huge fears that people tackle each and every day, and it weighs on people as they succumb to these fears. And when we find ourselves allowing ourselves to not do anything, to have zero obligation for anything at all, it feels really good. And you find the body feeling more relaxed. You feel the mind more at ease. You feel more replenished, more refreshed. And then, lo and behold, you actually may start realizing that, I actually want to do something. I actually desire to do something. Just like today, I told myself, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to lay in bed. I'm probably going to watch some Netflix. I'm going to just chill and not do anything. I haven't turned on Netflix yet. I have been kind of lounging around, but, after about 10 a.m., I realized I'm like, I don't know if I want to just lay in bed all day. When we allow ourselves to be exactly where we are, that is a huge process within the healing. And then as that part of us is healed, we can start to realize that I desire things from within my own being. I desire things that are actually pleasurable for me. So now that I've allowed myself to let go of the world and all of its demands, now I can actually start thinking about what I want. And that's something that maybe I want to do. Maybe I want to cook a nice meal for my family or for my friends. Maybe I want to start on that project that I've been thinking about for so long. Maybe I want to do some art. Maybe I want to play some music. Maybe I want to start writing that book. Whatever it is, you will start realizing that there are desires of things that you wish to do as you let things go, as you allow things to be exactly as you are, as you allow the feelings to arise and be exactly as they are. You're validating yourself and your experience, and you're letting yourself know that I can acknowledge this and I can still move forward in the direction that I see fit for me. Live your happiness, live your joy, live your peace. Allow yourself to be exactly where you are. I love you so much, and I'm so excited for just you being. I'm excited to see this love radiate outside of everyone. I'm excited to see joy, true smiles, because people are living life in joy. And just because we enjoy seeing someone smile doesn't mean that we should expect other people to smile, because sometimes it's okay to not smile. It's okay to not be okay. That's perfectly fine. Allow yourself to be there. And then when it feels right for you to smile, when you want to smile, when you're like, you know what, I'm tired of these tears, I'm gonna do something that makes me smile. When you're ready for that, it's going to glow. It's going to be more radiant than anything, even if it's just the tiniest smirk. Because you are radiance. You are incredible. And I'm so thankful for you. So that's all I really have for this episode. Be yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, be exactly where you are. You are incredible. If you have any thoughts or ideas or anything that you'd like to share, you can send that to everything.sunpodcast@gmail.com. You can join any of the social media groups: Instagram, everything.sunpodcast, Twitter, @everysunpodcast, the Facebook group, @everysunpodcast, and the YouTube page, Everything Under the Sun Podcast. And yeah, that's all I got. Love you all so much, and I'll talk to you soon.